If you're an NBA fan, it means you're a fan of the Boston Celtics. And if you love the Boston Celtics, it is almost impossible that you're not a fan of Jayson Tatum. The Boston Celtics selected Tatum with the third overall pick in the 2017 NBA Draft. Tatum was named the NBA Eastern Conference Finals Most Valuable Player in 2022 and helped the Celtics reach the NBA Finals as a three-time NBA All-Star and two-time All-NBA selection. He also won a gold medal as a United States Olympic team member in Tokyo 2020. He has one of the best careers in the team. But what are his best moments? Watch till the end of this video to find out. Hello and welcome to Limitless Basketball, where it's all about the NBA and its best moments so far. Today, let's look at some of the best dunks of Jayson that made him who he is. So, without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Number 10. Brooklyn Nets vs. Boston Celtics. In a match between BKN and BOS, the game's highlight came when Jayson Tatum swooped in and slammed down a dunk. But he wasn't the only Boston player who didn't face much resistance from the Nets' defense on this night. Tatum scored 30 points as the Celtics returned from the All-Star break with a 129-106 victory over the Nets on Thursday night. Marcus Smart had 15 points and Jaylen Brown added 18. The Celtics continued where they left off before the break, winning 9 of their final 10 games. On February 8th, they won 126-91 in Brooklyn after jumping to a 28-2 lead. This one was no closer. Boston never trailed, just as it didn't that night when it led by as many as 29 points and won its 6th straight road game. We feel like we found something in the last few weeks, and it's just good that after the break we came out with no steps back, said forward Al Horford. Number 9. Washington Wizards vs. Boston Celtics. Tatum led the Celtics to a 116-87 victory over the Wizards. James scored 33 points in the Lakers' narrow loss in Miami. The Magic win for the first time in 10 home games with a victory over the Bulls, and the Warriors hold on for a narrow win over the Jazz. Tatum entered Sunday's game having missed his previous 23-point attempts and going 0 for 3 in Boston's last 3 games. He made his first 4 shots against the Wizards and finished with 6 of 7 in the first half, the last coming just seconds before halftime. Tatum's 50-point performance on Sunday was the 5th in his career. He also had 10 rebounds and 7 assists, while teammate Jaylen Brown had 18 points and 10 rebounds. Bradley Beal led Washington with 19 points and 7 assists, but Spencer Dinwiddie and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope were all 0 for 14 from three-point range. Deni Avdija scored 13 points, while Kyle Kuzma scored 12 points and 7 rebounds. Number 8. Indiana Pacers vs. Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics have yet to win a game since Robert Williams III was injured. Jayson Tatum has taken matters into his own hands to ensure the C's victory over the Indiana Pacers on Friday. Tatum put home an empathetic dunk over 6'10" Indiana big man Jalen Smith near the end of the third quarter at TD Garden, with the Celtics' lead still in single digits against the lottery-bound Pacers. Tatum, who has won back-to-back Eastern Conference Player of the Week awards, continues to attack the rim fearlessly for the Celtics, making him one of the league's most dangerous players as the postseason approaches. Number 7. Brooklyn Nets vs. Boston Celtics. Even when Jaylen Brown was on fire early, the Boston Celtics knew they'd have to rely on their defense late. The Brooklyn Nets were then secured just as they were last spring. "Without a doubt, our defense won us the game tonight," Jayson Tatum said. Brown had 34 points and 10 rebounds, while Tatum added 29 points and 11 rebounds as the Celtics defeated the Nets 103-92 on Sunday night. Brown set the tone for Boston with a 20-point first quarter, and the Celtics forced 6 turnovers in the fourth quarter of their first meeting since sweeping the Nets in their first round of the playoffs. "Even though we've been scoring the ball at an alarming rate, setting records, we can't let that rope slip," Brown said. So tonight was a fantastic game. Kevin Durant led the Nets with 31 points, but also had 8 turnovers. Kyrie Irving chipped in with 18 points and 8 rebounds, but he was only 7 for 21. Number 6. Atlanta Hawks vs. Boston Celtics. In November against Atlanta Hawks, Jayson portrayed his skill yet again. His one-hand dunk left the crowd going nuts, and Boston was back in the game once he did his dunk. Tatum scored 49 points, grabbed 11 rebounds, and made 8 three-pointers in a 134-121 victory over Miami Heat on November 30th, 2022. He became the NBA's youngest player to make 900 three-pointers at 24 and broke Bradley Beal's previous record of 25 years. Tatum became the first player in NBA history to have multiple games with 45-plus points, 10-plus rebounds, and 8-plus three-point attempts. Tatum was named to Team USA for the 2020 Summer Olympics in Tokyo, Japan, postponed to 2021 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Number 5. Dallas Mavericks versus Boston Celtics. Boston competed with Dallas closing the gap. Jayson Tatum made the matchup with Luka Doncic a one-on-one contest, and each time, the Boston star outperformed the Mavericks. On Wednesday night, Tatum had 37 points, 13 rebounds, and Jaylen Brown had 31 as the NBA-leading Celtics beat Dallas 125-112. His ability to respond in the heat of the moment, his ability to improve everyone around him, said Celtics coach Joe Mazzulla. You can rely on him to show up every night. Doncic, the NBA's leading scorer, led the Mavericks with 42 points. Tatum, the league's fourth leading scorer, had been listed as questionable with a sprained ankle. He planned to play. He knew who he was paired with, Brown explained. Don't be fooled by him. He knew he'd be playing the entire time. Boston led by as many as 27 points in the third quarter before Dallas scored 13 of the following 15 points. With about 3 minutes 30 seconds left, the Mavericks had closed to win within 9 points, 104-95 and 117-107, when the two stars squared off. Number 4. Toronto Raptors versus Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics have to impress you. Many teams that lose in the finals, particularly in a close series that could have gone either way, suffer from a hangover the following season and underperform. Not these people. Furthermore, the Ime Udoka saga didn't bother them at all. They are one of the most important early stories in 2022-23. At this point, Boston has far more wins than anyone else and one of the best offenses ever, thanks mainly to 40% three-point accuracy on most attempts and 85% from the line. Jayson Tatum has advanced to MVP candidate status yet again and waits until one of the NBA's best defenders, Robin Williams III, enters the lineup. This will be a difficult game for anyone in the playoffs. Tatum now ranks third amongst Celtics in points per game, trailing only Larry Bird and Paul Pierce. He's a fantastic player, but keep in mind, his development has been dynamic. Many players, including the elite, need to go straight up. As a 19-year-old rookie, he looked like a future star, similar to Scottie Barnes as a 20-year-old. But, like Barnes before him, Tatum regressed as a sophomore. Tatum was an all-star by his third year and continues improving. Number 3. Cleveland Cavaliers versus Boston Celtics. Jayson Tatum slammed a monster dunk late in Wednesday's game against Cleveland, sending the game into overtime. Tatum, who finished with 26 points in the loss, drove and dunked on Jarrett Allen of Cleveland. Despite Tatum's dunk, the Celtics were defeated by the Cavs 114-113. His playing style is distinctive. As an athlete, he is more smooth and explosive, though his ability to finish around the rim in transition will surprise you at times. Tatum prefers to operate in the mid-range, where he can overhandle and show off his polished footwork, ball-handling ability, and very soft touch. Number 2. Phoenix Suns versus Boston Celtics. Boston looked like the best team in the NBA after dominating Phoenix. The Celtics led by 45 points with 5 minutes 30 seconds left in the third quarter, thanks to 5 players scoring double figures. Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum of Boston each had a team-high 25 points. The Celtics improved to 10-3 on the road and 7-0 against Western Conference opponents. Josh Okogie led the Suns off the bench with 28 points, and Devin Booker added 17. Chris Paul returned from a 14-game absence due to a heel injury, finishing with 4 points, 4 assists, and 4 rebounds in 24 minutes. Number 1. New York Knicks versus Boston Celtics. It didn't take long for Jayson Tatum to make his way onto the TD Garden highlight reel on Tuesday night. Tatum followed up on Aaron Baines' missed field goal attempt with a thunderous putback dunk just over a minute in the Boston Celtics game against the New York Knicks. The most critical reason New York is at the top of the list is because of where they play. Madison Square Garden is still an extremely profitable venue, and the Knicks are still making a lot of money despite a $1 billion renovation to its structure. For example, suite rental prices for MSG can exceed $1 million per year. No matter how old Jayson is, he still plays like a youngster. Even though he is on the top of his career, he remains one of the best Boston ever had. Thanks for watching the video. Please Please leave a like and share the video with your friends and family.
Woo!